Alright, here's a little video showing that my exam is not launching. So I'm supposed to launch the exam 30 minutes before my exam schedule time. And my computer passed the compatibility test several times. I also have a wired internet connection and I have the camera ready. I have my headphones here and I've checked all of them several times, but it's not launching. I have one more minute on the clock. It's 7:58. My exam will close. Look, this is what's happening. An unexpected error occurred on the server. That's what I'm getting every time I'm trying to schedule my test. So I'm gonna put more on that, and I'm just gonna show you that I still have time to launch my exam, but this is gonna close at 8 o'clock. This is my intro. Now I'm gonna tell you a little more details on that, just to prove that this is the CBCS exam and this is the date and this is the time, all of those things. It is online proctored live exam. This is my confirmation number, and yeah, now I'm gonna tell you in details about what happened with my exam. Hi, good morning and welcome back to my channel. My name is Zina. I'm an immigrant from Bangladesh and I live in New York. And today I'm going to tell you a little bit about what happened with my CBCS exam. CBCS exam means Certification on Billing and Coding Specialist. Yeah, Certification on Billing and Coding Specialist. That's what CBCS means. And I applied for taking the exam with NHA, which is National Health Career Association. I applied to take the exam in July, and they give you somewhat of a 6 months window from during which you can take your test. So my window was supposed to finish in January, and when January came, I just got a promotion at work and I wasn't able to take my test because I was thinking about taking it by the end of January. So that's when I had booked for my exam with PSI, which is the testing center. However, I got hired into the company where I'm working. If you've been following my channel, you know that I was a contractor with the company that I'm working with right now. They hired me in August and there were a chance of a promotion, so I was working crazy to get the promotion, and I got the promotion in January. And I wasn't able to take my billing exam because every day after work I was so knackered I wasn't able to study at all. So I kind of held it off until the end of January, but when end of January came, I was like, I was drowning with the new job responsibilities, so I wasn't able to take the test. So I called NHA and requested an extension so I could take the exam a little after the scheduled date, and they were kind enough to give me an extension so I could take the test by February 2025, February 24th, 2025, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow is a Monday. Since I will be working tomorrow, and for my work I have to place a request for a PTO, paid time off, 1 month before that date. So I would not be able to take the test tomorrow on a weekday, Monday, because there are two reasons. Number one, I don't want to use up my PTOs yet because it's just the beginning of the year. What happens what if something happens by the end of the year when I need to take a lot of time off? So I just don't want to use it up yet. And number two, I thought, okay, since I can take the test on a weekend, I am just gonna do that. So I booked my test today, February 23rd at 7:30 a.m. and I booked it to take the test from my home because my computers had passed the compatibility test, and also there was nothing available for this Saturday where I could go in person. Now, ever since I got that job at the company, my finances has improved. So it's not like last time when I did not have good devices to take the test with. I now have good internet connection. I have good devices at home. I have purchased so many things I've always wanted to buy in my lifetime. And honestly, it is good to be able to do things that I've always wanted to do. one of them is having good devices and good internet connection. However, when I went to take the test at 7 a.m. in the morning today, it did not launch. And I was surprised because it is passing the compatibility test, but it is not launching. What's going on? So I called my husband. If you don't know, my husband graduated from Baruch College last year. He is a data analyst, so he knows IT stuff, things that I don't know. So he came to help, and he had already set up everything for me. He had checked everything for me, and if he says it's working, it's working. I trust him on that because he's really smart when it comes to IT. However, my test just wasn't launching. It kept saying things like unexpected server error, like an unexpected error occurred with the server, which shouldn't have, because I followed all the instructions that PSI and NHA gave me. So I did not even like launch it with a laptop. I launched it with a desktop computer, and the model of the Windows was up to date. My internet was had a wired connection. It wasn't even Wi-Fi. It was like a wired internet connection. My camera was working. I checked it. My microphone was working. I checked it. And of course, with this internet connection, I work from home for this fast-paced company. So there was no way my internet was failing. So at 7, when I couldn't launch my exam from my desktop, I moved in with my laptop just to see if it was launching, and it wasn't. I changed my location, moved around the little apartment where we live from one corner to another corner just to get a connection. Nope, nada, nothing. So my husband also tried downloading the NET extension for the PSI exam extension. Like it's an extension for an extension, thing like that, but that did not also work. So to take the exam, I was supposed to launch the PSI Chrome extension, and I did. But somehow that extension is not good enough to launch the exam. So my husband went to review the extensions site reviews actually, and the reviews are terrible. People are posting things like this extension sucks, my exam did not launch, and things like that. I'm like, yeah, because last time when I was trying to take the CCMA exam, I think it was in April, it did not launch either. But at that time, I did not have good devices, and I wasn't very aware of taking an exam from home. That was my first time ever trying to take an exam from home. That was a certificate exam that is outside my nursing college. So at that time, I had thought my devices were bad, but this time I know for sure the PSI Chrome extension sucks. Sorry to say that. So I called PSI at 7:31 after trying everything, and after my husband trying everything humanly possible to launch the test, and that didn't go through. So a nice person picked up the phone, and they said they're going to get the technical support team to help me. And I was on the phone for 16 minutes, like until 7:51. The total time adds up to it, like me picking up the phone at 7:31, calling somebody, picking it up, then me being on 16 minutes, and then the total time was like 7:51 or around that time. But nobody picked up the phone. The technical support team did not reach back to me and give me some kind of like sci-fi orders so I could fix my thingy and get the exam launched. That just did not happen. So after that, the call got dropped, because if you're on a call for too long, it drops. So I called PSI back again. Another person picked up the phone, and he said the same thing, and I told him that I called previously and they were giving me the technical support team. I think it is the PSI extension that is failing, not my computer or my devices. And he kind of agreed. He said, yes, we get a lot of complaints about the extension. Don't worry, I'm going to put a ticket, and please reach us back in 2 days. So I'm going to reach them back on Wednesday. I did not get a reference number because he said there's no reference number. I got his name. I wrote everything down in my Google Keep Notes just so I can present my case properly on Wednesday. I'm gonna call NHA right now after I hang up this call, but I know NHA will not pick up the call. They don't pick up call on Saturday and Sunday. PSI picks up the call on Saturdays and Sundays, so that's why I called them, just so I could prove that, hey, I'm trying and it's not working. Also, this video will be an evidence, because I made a little video in the front which you saw, like at the intro, that it wasn't launching, there was a server error. So here's what happened with my CBCS exam. I couldn't take it because the PSI extension for the Chrome does not work properly and it's not launching my test. So twice is enough for me to learn my lesson. If I ever take a test with PSI, I will never schedule it from home. Even if I have to take a PTO, go to the testing center on a weekday, if there's nothing available on weekend, I will do that just like I did with the CCMA exam. And I will take the test at the testing center. At least that way, I will not have to go through the mental agony of going through my devices for hours and then not being able to take the test and being in a jeopardy of whether I should get my money back or not. Because at this point, I don't know if they're going to give me the money back and give me another chance to take the exam. Of course, if I get made absent in the exam, if my exam expires, which happened at 8 o'clock, I will still get a chance to take my exam. Like, I can rebook for the exam, take the exam like a normal human being does. But I will lose the money that I put in for the first time. And I don't want to lose the money because it's not my fault that the PSI Chrome extension sucks. So that's what is going on. Anyway, that's what happened with the exam. Now, if you want to find out about how I prepared for the exam, I went to a trade school to prepare for the certificate course, and it is called ICC, Institute of Career Continuity. It's at Manhattan, and the classes were online. There were back-to-back classes on the weekdays for a whole month. It took a whole month, and each class was like 4 hours long in the evenings, and the whole course was completed in 1 month. Then we had a final certification exam at the end, which gives you like a course completion exam, and I passed that. And everything I studied for that test, I studied from Quizlet. Somehow everything there are like a lots of decks available for CBCS exam on Quizlet. I studied from those decks, and whatever I got in the exams for the Institute of Career Continuity School, the questions did not come from outside Quizlet, so it was okay for me. And also, like, our instructor professor, he made us go through this book. So every day he finished one chapter. So while I was preparing from Quizlet, I had also skimmed through the book. This book has a lot in it, but it is a very good book. Something that summarizes everything you need to know in a gist about medical billing and coding. It's Pearson's Comprehensive Health Insurance. When I went to the trade school, they did give me a red shelf access to the PDF copy of the book. But you know, if you know red shelf is another thing that sucks, because like you have to log into red shelf, you have to open the book, takes about 3 to 4 minutes to get that opened. Then the book goes inactive after every few minutes. It just logs out and goes into the landing page. It's not very efficient. You can't really highlight the book, you can't bookmark, you cannot print from it. You can print up to a certain limit, but you cannot print out the whole book. So if you want something, if you want to revise some specific areas of the book, it is really inconvenient. So after struggling for a long time, I finally just decided and purchased the book. The book cost me about $152 or around that area. But if you want to buy this book, please buy it from Pearson's original website. That is the cheapest. I researched over days to find out where I could get it for the cheapest price, and this book, the new version, the new edition, the new copy, which is a third edition, and a new book, cost me less than it would cost me if I purchased it from Amazon and used. So Pearson sells the new book for a cheaper price than anybody else everywhere, like Chegg Loans are the book for $100 for a few days. Like, oh, who's gonna do that? Who's that dumb? I'm not. I mean, yeah, there are people who just don't know better. It's not being dumb, it's just not knowing better. But anyway, and even Amazon costs more for this book than Pearson's original website does. So I highly recommend this book. However, there's a lot in it. I feel like it has a little too much for that tiny weeny bit of exam. So if you want to go through something real fast, I don't know if this is enough, but you can also get the CBCS study guide from National Health Career Association. You can get the PDF copy or you can get the printed copy. They both cost the same, about I think $80. I will make another video with the exact figures. I wasn't preparing for the video, so I just went on impromptu because I couldn't take my exam. I was feeling so much of an adrenaline rush that I had to make a video and just go on with it. But anyway, this book is really good. It is very concise, and also in the end it has some questionnaires with the answers, like a little workbook with answers, which will give you a brief idea of what to do if you want to be a biller. And the third resource that I used is the exam questionnaire. I purchased the questionnaire from NHA, National Health Career Association's website, and the questionnaire gives you a better idea about what are the most important things that you need to know about this exam and to be a biller. So yeah, so these are the three things I used. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna call NHA, see if anybody picks up. If anybody picks up, I'll explain my case. If nobody picks up, then I'm gonna call tomorrow at my lunch break. I'm gonna call NHA, tell them what happened with PSI, the test taking center. Then I'm gonna call back to PSI on Wednesday, see what they're gonna do, if they're gonna reimburse me. If they reimburse me, then I'm gonna schedule myself for next Saturday with an in-person testing center and take the test next Saturday in the in-person testing center. And until then, I'm gonna review my materials a little bit here and there. Now, I don't know if reading this material is going to be enough for the CBCS exam, because I don't know what the exam questions are supposed to be like. There's not a lot out there on the internet about the CBCS exam for a very good reason. I don't think you can get a job with this exam, honestly. It gives you a brief idea about billing and coding, and of course you can get a job with this, but it does not guarantee you a job. Like if you go to any certification course with AHIMA or AAPC, those those certifications are of a much higher value, because those take a lot of studying, lot of time, lot of money. So if you take those certifications, those will guarantee to prepare you to become a proper coder or a proper biller. This one is something that gives you a little bit of an idea. With this, you may or may not get a job. I heard of one lady who did get a job at CVS as a claim adjuster because of this test, but it is not guaranteed. And I always look for jobs at LinkedIn and Indeed. No one asks for somebody who has a CBCS certification. When it comes to billing and coding jobs, everybody asks for a CPC B, CPCC, even CPCA or something with AHIMA, but nobody really asks like put that in the job requirement that hey, have a CBCS and have a job. It really doesn't work. So if you're thinking your life is gonna turn around with this certificate, this may not happen. Why I did it is because it is something that I just wanted to know a little bit about billing and coding and get a certification while I did my full-time job, which I already have, like something on the side I could do, so it would give me a good idea about billing and coding. So just in case, like if I ever become a physician and if I ever have my private practice, I will know the things I'm supposed to know about billing. And also I want to help out my uncle. My aunt is a physician and she has a private practice, and my uncle needs a little bit of help with some aging reports and some billing that didn't get paid. So that's why basically I'm taking the certification. You know, I'm a woman, I'm a middle-aged woman who doesn't have any children, so all my drive goes toward my intellectual pursuit because I have a lot of pent-up energy no, not pent up, I have a lot of extra energy, and I want to spend it all on getting certificates and making money instead of having a child. You know, people's priorities. That's why I prioritize myself. So that's what I'm doing. And so, yeah, that's why I'm just taking the certificate, because me just reading a little bit about billing and helping my uncle, I felt like instead of doing that, I'm just gonna go by the proper way and become a biller, kind of a biller. So that's why I'm taking this exam, but don't count on it to get you a job. So that's all I have to say for now. If I pass the test, I'll update. If I fail the test, I will also update. Stay safe and take care. Have a great day. Bye.